GM Farcaster, and happy Friday. It is Friday, November 22nd, and you are here with NounishProf and Adrienne for 29 minutes of Farcaster news today because we got a hard stop. So we're going to do it today. I feel good. Towards the end, our last 10, 15 minutes is going to be with a couple folks from Solana at Stoic, who on Farcaster is going to pop by and give us a little hey, what's happening on Solana kind of update. And I'm excited to chat with them because we don't really do enough on Solana. And Solana, you can connect a Solana address on Warpcast. And I'd love to know if they have anybody developing anything for Warpcast.
Yes, and you can be active on multiple blockchains, apparently.
I know, right?
Without affecting your personality or your core belief systems.
Really?
Apparently.
I was not aware.
Yeah.
My understanding was if I'm an ETH maxi, I need to remain an ETH maxi. No? Okay.
Nope.
We can actually hold other assets like Bitcoin, which is this close to hitting 100K, and Solana, which also hit an all-time high. So there you go. We can do this. We can do this. But meanwhile, back on Planet ETH, CastOut. So I have to start with this. We are relaunching CastOut. The next season is going live December 9th. And I just launched this morning an application form if you want to play. It's going to be a little different. It's going to focus on tribes and communities. So gather 5 folks and submit them to play as a tribe to this application. I'm going to take applications through next Wednesday, and then we're going to announce the teams on December 2nd, and then CastOut will go live on December 9th. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, you have no idea where CastOut is, take a look at the pinned cast in the CastOut channel, and you will see a recap of the first game that we did, where Adrienne was the runner-up, Toady Hawk was the winner, and it was a lot of fun. So, Adrienne, why should people play?
It is the most fun game you can imagine. It's I played. You wouldn't even believe this. I was a player in season. What do you call it? The beta?
0. I was calling it 0, the beta. 0. I might just have to call it 1 just to make it easy.
I'd never watched Survivor. I'm not a gamer. It's just it was super fun. You get to learn a lot about Farcaster things, but mostly it's for the friends you meet along the way. I actually made a lot of great new friends, a few enemies, but I think they're fake enemies. I hope they're fake enemies.
Just one. They're fake enemies. She's told me she's a fake enemy.
Yeah, it's just it's so fun, and I think it was fun. I like to, even if you're not playing, to follow along and watch. I love the concept of doing this with tribes and kind of teams this time, because that was the most fun part of the last time.
That was the feedback, is that the tribe part of it was the most fun. They liked working together on different challenges. So I wanted to extend that out. So it's going to be 8 different challenges, 8 tribes. The last challenge is the only one that's individual. So the last tribe standing will go against each other to have a final winner. So a little different, but it's going to be a lot of fun. And yes,
what if
you have to have 5 friends.
And they have no friends.
If you have no friends,
should we do a little friend setup?
We're going to do some matchmaking. So if you're I don't have 4 friends, still fill out the application. There is a checkbox for I don't have any friends. I mean, I'm an individual who doesn't have a tribe yet. So you just check that box. You do have AI friends. So just check that box and you can play. Aether, that's interesting. If there was a higher tribe and they wanted to include Aether, I'd be down for that. That's interesting. That's an interesting concept. I think that Aether would actually be a good player. So that could work. It might limit them on some challenges. I'll just say that. Might help them on others. So, could go either way.
Aether can talk about yoinking that flag for 24 hours a day, never sleep, but you don't actually know they can actually yoink that flag.
You can't yoink the flag. So that's what I mean. There might be some, there might be some limitations to using non-humans. but in some cases it might be better. So your call.
Oh, I
thing
forgot
is-
another reason to play.
Go ahead.
Fame and rewards. And you can, like prizes.
There will be prizes. So at least a $10,000 degen, $10,000 degen prize. But we're also looking for sponsors so we can add to the prize pool. So take a look at this form. Also, if you're like, I don't want to play, but I really want to sponsor, this is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to give me a lot of exposure for my brand, whatever, you can sponsor and be a part of. We'll also have a bracket game. So I'm going to be finalizing that with TLDR. And so you'll be able to play along, even if you're not playing on a tribe, you'll be able to root for somebody via bracket game. So this is going to be so much fun. And this particular one is MemeCoin Island. So this is CastOut MemeCoin Island. And so therefore I had to launch a clanker. So this is my little imaginary conversation that I had with Adrienne. Prof, I think we should ask Clanker to create a CastOut token. Adrienne, but what would the token do? Prof, probably nothing, maybe something. So I asked Clanker to create a token called CastOut with the attached image, and it did. And it is, it's out there. It's out there in the world. It's flying about. I have locked up millions, about a little over 10 million, and it is sitting in the CastOut.eth wallet. I also have some other in my wallet. I will not be selling any of it. None of it will go until the game starts. I won't be selling anything. And I'll be mostly just using it in the game as part of that. So if you played CastOut in our first season, you've got an airdrop from me. From CastOut.eth, technically, and based on where you landed in the standings. And if you are a GM Farcaster Hyper Sub holder, you also got a airdrop, so check your wallets. If you're a Mole holder, you got 10,000 CastOut. If you're a WoW holder, you got 20,000 CastOut. And if you're Yes to Crypto, you got 100,000 CastOut because you are subscribed through 2029. So felt like you needed a bonus. So there you go. I converted my ETH into CastOut.
I love that
please don't convert all your ETH. NFA, big time NFA. It is
I was going to ask you what you think of Al's action that apparently
don't
they
do that.
all their ETH into CastOut. I assume this is a joke.
I certainly hope so. Don't do that.
Unless he had no ETH.
Also, reminder, cryptocurrencies do have a lot of risk. They are volatile assets, especially meme coins. Please, please ape responsibly is what I will say.
And as I like to say, meme coins aren't even assets. So
they really aren't.
Why would you even buy them ever? I don't get it.
They really aren't. Except when they're fun, but they are fun. But yeah, so this is fun. It's going to be fun. We're going to have a good time. So I'm excited. So fill out the form if you want to play, if you want to sponsor, if you want to play. Yeah, by the way, I learned a lot about Clanker in doing this. So that was really interesting. This is how I learn, is by doing things. So that was fun. I learned that it is very difficult to capture a lot of the token when it first launches. I thought I could stealthily do this and just launch it and then, grab a bunch so I could not to like pump and dump, but to actually hold it and put it away for the game. And that was not easy because there were bots on it like that. And I know that's something that Proxy's working on. And then it launches a deck screener for you, but like figuring out how to change the banner and all those things. So that was a fun little experiment. So very exciting. And I can't wait to launch the season. On another note, I have to just shout out Miriam. Thank you, Miriam. So MJR said, who's compiling Farcaster lore? And Miriam said, glad we have GM Farcaster for this because I wouldn't have seen it otherwise. So thank you. And also, yes, we are compiling and creating Farcaster lore. Both things. Both things are true. Speaking of lore, This from Robrak, the Farcaster I can't even say this. Allegocracy, a democracy driven by algorithms. Free mint for 1 week. Creator rewards go to Ethernet and a non-cast. And actually, I don't think the mint stayed open for a week because it hit that certain special level where it became an art coin. So it is closed, but you can buy it on secondary. And I do have a few. If anybody missed it completely and would like one to hold in their wallet, let me know. And Adrienne, I don't know if you noticed something, but we made it in this one. So Robrak so we've had a long running joke with Robrak that we do not make it into the aristocracy and things like that. And we made it into this one. We're over here in this little side area. And you know, I was happy to see it, but I also would have been fine if we continued the bit. It would have been good either way. But thanks for
Yeah.
we were happy to be there. It was very cute. Few other things from Merkel. Dan posted about the priorities right now, if this will ever come up. Merkel's priorities right now. Team is 14 people, roughly split into 3 groups. Protocol, build and migrate to Snapchain to make sure the network can continue to scale. We also have a new FIP for sign in with Farcaster. Crypto Frames V2 FIP shipped last night. As part of Frames V2, we are working on making transactions buttery smooth. And social. Protocol and crypto don't matter if people aren't using Farcaster every day. Making progress on app performance, removing jank, iteration on channels, onboarding, feed tweaks, and DCs. And had a great chat with Dylan for the hub on Tuesday, and he'll be diving more into these next Tuesday, I'm sure. Along with this, today, the frame-related Legos are confusingly named. Frames V2 will simplify this and make it easier to understand for users and developers. So this is the Frames V2, and I'm going to leave this until Tuesday for Dylan to dive into this because they have now shipped this FIP. So we'll let him sort of get into the nitty-gritty of this on the hub on Tuesday, our developer-focused new podcast, which I need to get the recording out from this past week. We did not do that yet, but it is available on YouTube. It's available on YouTube. You can grab it now on YouTube.
It'll be up shortly.
It'll be up shortly. We will get it done today. This also from Dan, update to how mutes work on Warpcast. Muting a user will no longer unfollow them. So that was a bit of an issue. So if you just want to mute somebody for a bit, and you know, I'm going to guess related to various MemeCoin things, but you still want to follow them, there you go. You do have that option now, and I'm about to speed run through some things, so hang in there. By the way, this is why I want Dylan to talk about this. The devs are excited about, they're very excited about Frames V2. So this is really interesting, and we'll learn more as to why from the devs, but the devs are excited. Dan is also very excited about what's happening with all the crazy clankers and the anons and all the things. And so, yeah, it's just getting a little crazy, but I've noticed that Dan seems very happy. As shown from this meme, do you own any clankers? Their portfolio, it's all robots. Very funny. And here's a little bit why. So Toady Hawk made it into the Decrypt article about a non-cast. So a non-cast, which we talked about the other day, is the way you can cast anonymously if you are holding the $ anon token. This is the one that is the question mark one, as opposed to the dog one, just to be careful, just to be clear and completely unclear on all the things. So here's the big thing. Vitalik bought some anon because of this mechanic. Let's be clear on that. It wasn't to pump your bags. He liked the cool mechanic that was using ZK. We know he likes ZK. He's here for the computer, people. And then this was reported out by Decrypt and took off and really got a lot of attention. The token did surge 350% based on that buy, and you know, there was much rejoicing. This is what we call a God candle, and that's what happened. That's not Vitalik's buy. That was the news of Vitalik's buy. So other people aping in because they saw that. So that was exciting to see. And I think that got a lot of people, other people interested. And what we are seeing, Adrienne, and I think we both were like, will this lead to actual people coming back to Farcaster? And the answer is yes. Yes, it will. Here you go. And individually, I've seen a whole bunch of different people all of a sudden they're back, or new folks jumping on. So that's fun to see as well.
Yay. Welcome everybody.
Welcome
It's a fun
everyone.
place.
We're glad you're here. Welcome back. Be nice to the people who left for a while and came back. We're glad you're here. So this was really interesting too. Quoting Bill Bandit on Twitter, Proxy Studio is pumped up fun for Gigabrain, ETH, and Coinbase Mafia through Farcaster. Base feels way better than Solana. Solana guys who are waiting in the wings, you can comment on that.
This
so
is
you
not
get
fair.
it.
You have to let them up on stage for that.
I will in a minute.
You can't slam Solana when they can't.
I didn't do it. I didn't slam Solana. It was this guy. So this is from Proxy. I think they're onto us, and it's a great thing. The Clanker thesis is pretty aligned with my Farcaster thesis. You have to make your own culture. We have a long way to go. Instinctual bias towards a non-meta versus slop, but how to get there without being too exclusive. Things we can play with, pacing, pre and post coin actions, lore, visualization, and narration of lore. So thinking about meme coins in a little different way. And also update from Proxy, we are taking Clanker to the scrapyard at 3 a.m. UTC on Friday, which was 10 p.m. Eastern Thursday. We will focus on retraining to make Clanker a better participant in Farcaster's social fabric, contract upgrades, swap prep, also deep investigation into Angela memory haunting situation. He still thinks he has a former girlfriend named Angela, and he doesn't know why. So that'll be happening. So that's why I snuck in the CastOut token while Adrienne was sleeping. You know. Like the Anons did with Tuoj.
If you know the lore, Adrienne goes to bed very early.
So I had to go.
That's why I will never join late night crew as much as I love the guys.
I know. They're fun though. This also from Proxy. This was so Clanker was responding to somebody who was asking about Clanker in Korean. And so this has been something that I noticed with Aether as well. Like I didn't think through this amazing utility that the bots can speak in any language. They have this built in. So that's pretty amazing, to be honest. That's pretty crazy. I had to go to Google Translate just to figure out what was happening there. This was really funny, playing with the kid who launched the token and that insanity. Me on base, I'm just sitting out here watching Clankers. It's so over. We're back. We're so back. It's over. And there's the new cycle. Let's hope we just stay in we're so back. I'd like to stay there. And by the way, Jamie launched a token called Bandos with Clanker based on that video. And it was, if you haven't seen the video, you'll have to go check it out. But this is part of a new experiment for Jamie where he's launching a new Clanker token for the wildest thing he sees in crypto. But he's going to be on a little break. This note from Dan also, which I disagree with, but I just want to share his thesis. All the recent meta would have been way crazier if Farcaster had its own native yelling gadfly trading main character live streamer. I don't think we need BitBoy Crypto to come in at this point. I think we're good. But I did see that Dan might be going on Thread Guy. They are trying to
about Brian.
He might have been talking about Brian, but
no, that
Brian's
Brian
not here.
Well,
Brian's not here.
Where is Brian?
But he might have been. He might have been talking about Brian. Where is Brian? Brian's over on Solana. as a matter of fact. Two other quick things. I really wish we had seen this on Wednesday when Base is our sponsor, but happy birthday, Jesse, who still has hair at the moment. He will be shaving his head, is my understanding, but as of the moment, he is not bald, but he is celebrating his birthday. So happy birthday, Jesse. And we've been really enjoying your trip around the world. It's been amazing. I do want to mention this from Linda. This is also in other exciting Vitalik news. Vitalik posted his first bounty on Bountycaster. So this is exciting. So if you want to, if you understand anything that Vitalik is asking for here, I'm not even going to read it. Like go read it, because I don't even know I don't know what this bounty is about. I am not smart enough to understand the bounty, but it was exciting to see him post a bounty. And lastly, the big news of yesterday, it is official. Everybody, bye Gary, as in bye-bye. So it's happening. He is officially stepping down on January 20th. I was hoping it was going to be this week, but there you go. And with that, Adrienne, did I miss anything before we bring up our friends from Solana?
No, that was amazing. That was 21 minutes of Farcaster news, just like the old days.
Just like the old days. And let me bring up our friends here, Stoic and Vote for Pedro, which I love. I didn't know what your handle was, so now I do. I assume that's your Farcaster handle is Vote for Pedro?
Super easy, yes.
Amazing. I love it. I love it. And welcome, Nick and Pedro. We're so glad to have you here to kind of give us a little update about what's happening in the world of Solana. We get stuck in our little ETH echo chamber here. So this was Adrienne's idea to sort of expand us out. And again, reminder, folks, you can attach a Solana wallet to Farcaster. So there you go. And we can build things on Solana. So Adrienne, take it away. What are we asking about?
No, I don't know. It wasn't even my idea. Shout out K-Mac, it was actually his idea, who's like, why don't you guys do some other cooler segments? So, Nick, you were at FarCon the beta. I know you were, or FarCon the first one in Boston. And I remember hanging out with you in early days of Philosophical Fox's Discord. And
it's another fox. It all makes sense.
Yeah, we foxes. We like each other.
We like the foxes.
We hang out in the skull. But I'm not active in Solana, and I know. I just wanted to hear from you guys. Talk to people on Farcaster. What's going on in Solana world these days?
Well, first of all, thanks for having us. And it has always been somewhat curious to me that more people in Farcaster aren't, playing around in Solana, because one of the reasons I joined Farcaster was it was such a really cool group of people like you, Adrienne, who are so intellectually curious and honest. And I think that many of us who've been in the crypto and blockchain space for a while have experimented with a lot of different blockchains and continue to do so, right? And there's other new blockchains today, like the Move chains, that are doing interesting things. And I think it's good to always just keep playing around and having fun on all the different blockchains. And I think Solana is fun, right? It's fast, cheap, and fun, and decentralized, and and we welcome all comers. It's not too late. Pedro, what do you think?
Yeah, thank you so much for having us on. I think a note on that, which I've always found so interesting, is that I very much think the competition, so to speak, is on-chain versus off-chain, right? I very much think it's so early to silo ourselves. So I do lurk on Farcaster because I learned so much, right? Like getting out of our crypto Twitter social graph echo chambers. We want to see more in terms of cross collaboration, pollination, either within Farcast, Warpcast and whatnot, and then also within sub communities in crypto Twitter and other virtual spaces in the crypto landscape.
I totally agree. Like in the on-chain versus off-chain versus, but I think people like to lean into just the memes.
So agree.
Of like ETH versus Sol. How did you guys get involved with Solana Foundation?
Yeah, I can I can go ahead. So I actually started my Web3 journey at Consensus on the Ethereum side. So I was building
cool.
payment infrastructure. I was actually super excited at the time about CBDCs, central bank digital currencies. I'm not so much now.
We've all gotten over that.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was two cycles ago. And it was very much for me trading NFTs on Ethereum that I had some friends essentially trying out, hey, there's this really fun platform, called Solana and like Magic Eden 2021, August, Solana summer, early days. And I remember that they would send me these mint links and you kind of have to spam the button to essentially guarantee that your transaction came in. That was before all the optimization transactions throughputs that Solana went through. And I love that experience. It was like a rush of, I think, the early days of the internet. For me, that was a parallel moment. So I joined, ironically, the NFT infrastructure standard on Solana called Metaplex at the time in October. Helped scale that out, and then formally joined the foundation around 2 years ago, where I lead all things creator economy and also consumer as well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
I do have
me-
to I have to show this really quick. This was from our favorite intern, me on base, and she said, Solana, you up. Solana segment on GM Farcaster this morning. Don't forget to talk about me. Okay, there we go. And we did.
We got our Magic Eden.
Check. Magic. You can't talk about Solana and NFTs without talking about Magic Eden. That's impossible. But sorry, Nick. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just wanted to show that because it was so funny.
Great.
Yeah.
Nice cutaway. For me, I similarly first started playing around with Solana because of NFTs. An artist that I actually have his IRL art named Joey Roth. He did an NFT mint on Solana in early 2021. And like I was just like blown away by the technology. It was just so fast, so cheap, compared to minting on Ethereum, especially at that time when you could be paying as much as $300, to mint something on Ethereum. And so I just, started, better understanding the technology, playing around. I was a VC at the time. And so part of my role was getting to know folks at the various foundations. And I got to know one of our colleagues, Nikhil Kumar. And this was, pre-FTX, and then FTX happened. And I was at a generalist venture firm, and I was responsible for crypto and blockchain investing. And I stayed on for another 6 or 8 months, but I only could get one deal through investment committee. A lot of generalist VCs lost their appetite for crypto post FTX. And also this is when AI, was taking off. And so a lot of the attention and interest was going in that direction. But I was like very committed to staying in crypto, very committed to blockchain. And Solana was a blockchain I thought just had a ton of potential. And the whole FTX thing, I didn't really fully appreciate and understand like why Solana was getting dragged through the mud with it. And I still don't really, to be honest. And I've been at Solana Foundation now since last July, and I still don't fully understand that. But thankfully, that's pretty much in the rearview mirror.
I have a question about that. So I think the big concerns was that at one point FTX held 70% of Solana. Or something like that level.
I think they owned 10% of Solana.
Okay.
And Galaxy sold all of that SOL in the bankruptcy estate.
Okay, that was my question. So there's no longer any Solana that's kind of involved or involved with the bankruptcy or anything like that.
No.
That's good to know for people to know. Yeah.
Yeah, and the cool thing about it really is when they sold that SOL has, I think, and Pedro, correct me if I'm wrong or if you know the facts here, but I think that SOL has a 4-year lockup. And the sales in the estate were ultimately at about a 20% discount to spot at that time. Okay. So you got folks that are now long holding SOL. And at the time, I think that, it was sold from like $4 to $6 billion worth of SOL. Obviously, price has gone up. But a couple things that I think would be helpful for the Farcaster community to know if they don't. Solana is the most used blockchain in the world. In fact, there's more daily transactions on Solana than all other public blockchains combined, about 50 million daily transactions on Solana.
Wow.
And there's also more daily volume on Solana, pretty much than all other blockchains combined. There was, about $10 billion of on-chain volume daily. And I mean, those numbers really are incredible when you think about, just the scale that Solana is operating at. And again, the speed and the cost are really unbelievable.
How can we get more folks building for Solana on Farcaster? Has there been any efforts to sort of, I think that's why we don't see a lot of talk about Solana, because we do have, you can attach a wallet. So I would assume then we could do some stuff related to that, but I just don't see anything happening. Is there any way to sort of get that rolling?
Yeah.
Well, so I have a question. I'll let Pedro answer this because he's going to be much closer to it. But I have a question for you, which is I went this morning, and this is on me, but like I went to watch the stream on Unlonely before I joined the call, and I see you've moved off of that. And did you move off of that because it's on Solana now?
That's one reason. But that was not the only reason. That was the moment in which we decided to part. But it was for many reasons. It was just a difference of approach, and Brian was actually pivoting to where he's essentially the content creator. So there was just a difference in approach too that was changed. But yeah. Yeah, so nothing against Solana at all in regards to that. It had very little to do with that move. The move was symbolic of some other things.
Yeah, and in fact, I think it'd be cool if there was tighter integrations, and it doesn't really matter. What is is there a social network on Solana, or is it crypto Twitter? Like, is it Twitter being the social? Because so much, I think it's so cool that I just love Farcaster as like the social platform before on-chain. I think it'd be like, why not?
I would say there are two main ones to look out for. One, and this is I think the largest creator platform, is called Drip House, drip.house, HAUS. It's essentially a creator subscriptions platform where you can subscribe to a creator. They can gamify, NFT drops to their collectors. And it's all on chain. So all the NFTs, all the content is effectively on chain. And then there's also the gamification system is micropayments on Solana. So I think they have over 600 creators. They've actually made over $3 million for those creators collectively. Wow. And what's interesting about that is that the average donation size is 14 cents. So when you think about when you think about what is only possible on Solana and other high throughput blockchains, comparing that to Web 2, the competition previously.
The real competition,
When you look at Patreon, TikTok, YouTube, OnlyFans, minimum donations is regularly $5, $15 to create per transaction. So by reducing that and leveraging the high throughput speed of Solana, you can actually create a lot of abundant economic activity that previously hasn't been available to the creator economy before. So that's awesome. That's Drip. That's more on the creator, I would say, collector relationship. There's also a large social network called Discover. I would argue it's more of directly like a Farcaster competitor. I think the difference there is that they're very much focusing on fungible token communities. So the ability for fungible token communities to organize and distribute tokens to each other. So on like the spectrum of like intellectual discourse versus organization of fungible communities, it's very much on that on the token side of things.
So are they essentially using that in place of like Telegram or something for coordination on the coin? If you heard that, sorry, I think I froze a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's an attempt, right? I think Telegram, and we could even talk about Telegram bots on Solana because
I know that's huge. Yeah.
Oh my God. I think 90% of all Telegram like trading bots usage and volume is happening on Solana.
Yeah.
Just because I think, again, like the speed of the content that you're able to send a message is almost the same of the speed that you're able to execute a Solana transaction.
Wow.
So it's like unparalleled in terms of speed of content velocity and transaction velocity.
Yeah. And I feel like Solana's really had an unbelievable year. This past year has been explosive for Solana growth, it seems like, and just a whole bunch of new folks that have found their way to Solana before they found their way to Bitcoin or ETH, which is really interesting if you think about that. So especially considering where we were just a couple of years ago. So it's exciting. So back, I want to jump back again. So how can we get more people building on Solana on Farcaster, or building different frames or things like that that might do something along with the Solana wallets that you can attach there?
Short answer is yes, of course. We saw kind of a excitement about Solana builders on Farcaster when Frame's Solana compatibility came out, and then also when Solana Blinks came out.
Right.
Blinks, for everyone who doesn't know, blockchain links, effectively the ability to execute a Solana transaction on any platform, Twitter, Farcaster natively. I think something that there are two themes that would be really exciting. One is this notion of a obviously composable social graph. By attaching these wallets to your Farcaster profile, Farcaster knows who you are, but then also any other application, including crypto Twitter, another Solana application, can know who you are. So I think that's kind of like a theme or a prompt. And then the second one, and that we talked about with Drip, is micropayments, right? Like the ability just to execute transactions at a higher velocity. I think something along the line of tipping, which I know is huge on Farcaster through DGen, et cetera, would love to lean into that in a Solana native way. And Nick and I are happy to lead the charge here.
Yeah. So if you're a dev who wants to do some development on Solana, come talk to these guys and get working. That'd be amazing. Adrienne, what other questions did you have before we wrap up? And we'd love to have you guys come on, like on maybe a regular basis, maybe once a month. You can pop by, give us some updates on anything related to Solana and Farcaster, like that connection, and try to start to drive a little bit more folks towards attaching their Solana wallet. Let's start there. Let's see if we can get that number increase.
Prof, I just
including
said maybe
talking to myself. I should probably go attach my Phantom. I have one. I don't know why I haven't done it.
Maybe a Solana challenge on CastOut.
We could have a Solana tribe. There could be a Solana tribe. That would be actually very fun.
By the way, can you drop the contract address in the chat? I went on Rainbow this morning to, swap into some and I couldn't find it.
To the CastOut contract?
Yeah.
Yes, I will grab that from Clanker right now.
And this is a good question because for those that don't know, the name of a token does not make it unique. So you can't just search a token and feel like you're
getting the right one.
Aping into the right one.
Yeah. There's a good chance you will not.
Yeah, I know we're running short on time. There were a few questions, and I guess Pedro I just think of like, who are you most attracting? Is it the developers that you want to build on Solana? Is it creators and artists? Is it users? There were some questions from a developer standpoint, kind of like about what the developer tooling's like, has it improved, et cetera. So we could even answer those on the feed later. Part of this, like, I'm with you, Prof, like just even getting you on, it's like, I'm kind of a little inspired to like, I should go check out Solana and kind of spin up and play around because I think it's worth it to experiment. And
two of my earliest
thanks for being
NFTs were on Solana that I bought were on Solana very early because of all the things you said. They are oh my God, I'm forgetting the name. They're so cute too. They're I think it's Mythic Girls. Mythic Girls. They're really cute. They're like these fairy kind of looking, and there weren't a lot of female PFPs at that moment either. So this is 2021, like late 2021. There weren't a lot of women focused projects. So this was one. It's super cute. I still have them both. And it was also because of the gas fees. It was really difficult to get into Ethereum at that point. Like you would spend hundreds of dollars in just gas and it felt like a waste. So that, that was the first appeal to Solana for sure.
Yeah, I think one related stat, which I think is so interesting, is that every second a new token is being created on Solana. So I think that in terms of like the on versus
that's
off
insane
convergence, right? That's been super inspiring to me, right? Like we're almost getting to the point of the amount of YouTube videos that are being created, daily and whatnot. And I think that's really, really cool. To tie back to the question of what we're focused on, and I think Nick would agree, it's founders, apps, right? So I think anyone who is interested in building unique projects can only be built on high throughput blockchains is who we want to effectively attract. And I think there was a question of, what is our approach to build and for founders to succeed on Solana. I think we really amplify founder-led initiatives, right? Like we want founders and projects to own their own distribution and not depend on any centralized entity, because that is truly the ethos of building a distributed ecosystem. Nick might have a similar.
Yeah, no. I mean, 100%. Like, so I was happy, and I'd be happy to join the show on the regular, just because I love Farcaster. I'm a sub 2000 FID. Like, I just would love to see Farcaster be successful. But I got asked the other day to join like a tokenization podcast, and I said sure if I can invite a couple builders, RWA builders in the Solana ecosystem to join me. And at first the guy was like, no, I really want this to be like Solana Foundation focused, Solana focused. I'm like, it still can be, but I'd rather you hear it and your listeners hear it from the people at the front building, from the founders. And eventually he said yes. And so I got Parcel and Meta Wealth. It's going to be a real estate tokenization focused podcast.
Oh, fun.
Got, two of the ecosystem founders, to join for that. And I'm going to let them do most of the talking because they're way closer to it than I am, right? And that's going to be the case in every single vertical, that we support at the Solana Foundation. Is the builders are always going to be more knowledgeable, closer to the front, know what's going on, and better able to speak to the why.
And we'd love that too. If you want to, maybe once a month we have a Solana focused segment like this, and you bring a builder. And especially if they're building on Farcaster with Solana or CastOut
so
presence.
A great example would be Bill ZH. Do you all know Bill ZH? Yeah. So like, have you guys messed around with Tribe.run?
Not yet. But I did see what he was building. Yeah. He's made he's a prolific builder within Farcaster.
Yeah, that OG farter.
OG farts. The token, yes.
You should definitely. I nominate. We'll voluntold him, because essentially he's using.
That'd be great.
He's using a primitive that's really interesting called ZK compression, which TLDR allows you to mass mint tokens to users, airdrop them. So I think it's right now $50 to airdrop to 1 million users. Right.
Oh, wow.
So we're getting
that's crazy.
And the paradigm of just like optimizing the network and getting the cost of minting, in this case, creator tokens, and distributing them to people in their different tribes is the use case that Solana is pioneering for him.
I really, Bill, I should reach out to Bill and tell him to put together a Solana tribe for CastOut. I think like there's something there. I'll have to reach out to him and just say, hey, you should play and grab a few other people from that ecosystem. Would be really fun. This has been awesome. Adrienne, anything else before we wrap?
No, I don't have anything else. I know, we tease out our segments like we'll do a 5-minute on Solana, and glad we could spend more time on it.
Yeah.
Prof, I know we both have other,
I know. It's like the
we
day
literally
had
said
to
we had a
run.
hard stop today. And we
I told them I was going to be late.
okay.
Sorry.
Time flies when you're having fun. Thank you for having us.
It's been
really
amazing having you here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope it was fun for you, because it was really fun for us.
We had a ton of fun.
This has been great, and we definitely want to have you back, and definitely we'll definitely get Bill on here and bring back some other builders too. We're going to close with, I'm going to throw the trailer for CastOut up, and then we're going to close it out. But thank you so much for being here. This has been amazing. And with that, everybody, get ready for CastOut. I'm very excited. Go check it out in the CastOut channel. And we will be back on Monday at, I think, our regular time. I don't think we have anything special going on. And then Wednesday next week, as long as you said yes, we're going to have Euler Lagrange and Dewufi on from Opacity. I'm going to say all the things wrong, and he's going to yell at me on Wednesday at noon. So that'll be next week. We won't have a Friday show, but we will see you on Monday. And thanks, everybody. And here's a little CastOut trailer. CastOut returns December 9th with CastOut MemeCoin Island. 9 days of challenges with 8 tribes, but only one sole survivor. Are you ready for CastOut MemeCoin Island and on? Follow the CastOut channel for all the details.